On the Fringe with Gemma Delaney on WLR.
Welcome back to On the Fringe with me, Gemma Delaney. Well, on tonight's show, I'm chatting with Andra Postolash, the recipient of the Origins Graduate Solo Show Award for 2025, held in Lismore. It's all kicking off this weekend, and Andra told us what we could expect.
With my work under Scrutiny, I have received a solo exhibition in Lismore, and the opening of the event is on the 4th of October at 3 p.m. Well, I'll be showcasing my expanded photography installation. My work immerses the audience into a multilayered experience and seeks introspective moments on female subjectivity. So what I mean by that is that when a person sees my work, they kind of interact with the objects that are in the space. There's a book that people can go through. There's also projections in the room that come in and out to kind of fade in the room, and these are of a gaze, so like female gaze, their eyes all over the place, and the audience might feel like they're getting surveyed in the space. Which then redirects us to the title, Under Scrutiny, of the installation. My work kind of talks about the perpetual expectations that we have as women, societal expectations, the need to keep up, the need to be perfect all the time, and the pressures that might put on us as a society. The reason why I made this project and why I chose to talk about this is because I feel that these pressures are actually making us be less involved in the community, we're trying to become too independent, in a sense that we are not having enough tangible connections with people. We're not talking enough. We're not being vulnerable enough. And I wanted to create a space where I sit down with these women and we talk about what is it like to actually be a woman, and how are we women? Like, who tells us that we are women? Do you know what I mean? And these things just kind of makes us reflect, like, oh, hold on, I've never thought about that before. Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Like, all of these expectations. And I feel like those, like, for example, we have to be quiet all the time. We need to be less emotional. Like, these will be words that we've heard from a very young age, and that we need to fit in that sense. And I feel like that's not on. Like, it's just hurting us. It's not actually helping anybody. And I feel like talking to these women, we kind of just had that chance to connect in that sense and be like, wait, hold on, you get me. I haven't talked about this before. I didn't realize that I was struggling with these things before. And it's just a good space. It's nice and quiet. It's pensive. And then with the data that I collected, I decided to, create a questionnaire where the audience could come in and answer those questions on their own as well. Now, they're a bit more subversive, I want to say. They are kind of punchy. So, why do you treat women this way? Why do you say that? And I don't mean to be, violent in any sense with my words. It's just like, I'm really trying to confront the audience here. Like, why are we still doing this? It's 2025.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for too long. We need, like, yes, there have been massive improvements with the way that we talk, we care for each other, but why are we still
there has been massive
improvements?
You're dead right, there has been massive improvements, but there's also been a massive pushback, in the last number of years as well. We seem to be in some ways kind of, not us specifically as women, but I mean as a society, kind of retreating, and there's kind of a return to maybe more archaic, traditional values that, I suppose.
You are so right.
Yeah, so I mean, was the exhibition, was it kind of inspired by that, or would this have been something, that would have been a massive cause of yours before, say, the more recent kind of pushback?
I'd say it's kind of both. I mean, I do have a multicultural experience. I moved in Ireland when I was 12, so I think I've gotten a bit of all of everything basically.
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced these kind of, I want to say, misogynistic um words and these expectations and all of
Mm-hmm.
these little comments here and there. Like I think it happens. That's the thing. I think it happens anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that it's something that any country, any culture has been able to fully escape from.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be little things like I still don't feel safe walking on my own
No.
at night in the dark. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I feel like, is anybody 100% like, yeah, I love doing this, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and never feel like there's somebody that could, hurt us. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a small example. Um, I just feel like we are more in danger than others. And I wanted to reflect on those things, like while we talk about these things, like how does our body react? So while I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to my interviewees, there were 11 women in total, we I just started taking photos of them while they were talking. They were aware of the camera. I was watching them. I was watching them. They were watching me. The camera was watching them back. So it was this constant gaze that they're surveyed the whole time this experiment was happening. And then after my little interview, I would have done the same for the exhibition. So it will be a recreation um, in Lismore as well of this process that I've been on in the last few months. Because it's just, yeah,
I love
it's
it.
just,
It's very
yeah.
timely. It's very timely. And I mean, like you said, it's not, necessarily something that's been born out of this, like I said, I suppose kind of right wing pushback. You've got your Andrew
Mm,
Tates and all that. I mean, it was
yeah,
happening before that anyway. It just maybe
definitely.
wasn't as trendy. It's become quite popular again. So I mean, it seems a very timely piece and a very
Definitely.
important piece at this point. But I suppose for anyone who's listening, right, Andrew, like you're obviously a feminist. I'm a feminist. My fella's a feminist. He'd love this. But for somebody who wouldn't, classically name themselves, or they're listening to this and they're kind of, oh, I don't know. What could you convince them to come along and see this? What do you think they could learn from this, or what do you think this exhibition would show them?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question. And I did have this question in mind because, audiences from any context and any background would be able to see the space. And
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend, like, really take everything in, like, really be with the space, be present in it. And the thing is, as I was saying, I made this questionnaire that's quite subversive, and
Mm-hmm.
I encourage the audience to take it away with them and answer at any point. And they don't have to actually write it down. They can just think about it. It's just these questions. Think about them because we have felt like this for a long time, especially the women that I've interviewed. But that's the thing. I don't think it comes all outside of that. So questions would be like, are you bitter?
Mm-hmm.
Are you caring? Are you loved? And what? Who loves you then? And what actually? What's a woman? Who tells us that we are women? Are we told how we are? So it's things like this.
Mm.
Um, really, there's loads of questions. These are just some of them. But it's like really sit with the space, really be present in it, and then once you've out of there, try to think from a different perspective other than your own. Do you
Mm.
know? Because it's different when you step out of your own shoes with your own experiences. Our own contexts are all very different, and we need to almost avoid the the preconceived versions that we've made about other people, in order to understand and listen to others.
Mm-hmm.
How else would we be compassionate? How else would we be accepting of other people? And I mean, I don't mean just women. I mean like anybody, any gender identity, any expression,
Mm-hmm.
anybody from any cultural background. It's important to like we're here for a while, we might as well listen to each other and care for each other. um
That's
I feel like there's so many advancements, like with AI and everything, that we're just trying to be solo all the time, and it's
mm-hmm.
hurting us. we we're not trying to care as much about each other as a whole. I mean, not any particular group or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely it's hurting our economy. It's hurting us socially. We're all feeling like there's loads of people feeling alone. There's loads of people struggling with their mental health. And while a lot of things are getting not directed, sorry, getting addressed, it's still it's still happening. It's exponentially getting worse. I feel the situation. Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, I think what you said there was beautifully put as well. You kind of said,
thank
if
you.
we're all here to. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what you are. If we can't kind of be kind and be good to one another, what's the point? We're not here for a
Mm,
long time. Isn't that what it all comes down to at the end of the day? Is just
literally. Yeah.
a bit of kindness and a bit of acceptance. I love that. Andrew, this is taking place the 4th of October. It's a Saturday. It's from 3 to 5. St. Carthage's Hall on Chapel Street, Lismore. Beautiful venue as well. Absolutely
It's
stunning
definitely
venue.
so
On the
nice.
Fringe
I'm so
with
excited
Gemma
to be
Delaney
installing
on
in there.
WLR.
Well, look, so excited
Welcome
to
back
see the
to On the
exhibition
Fringe with
and
me, Gemma.